Hello everyone, this is David from Automotive Press. As you know, there is a next generation Toyota 4Runner, which is a 6th generation, coming out sometime in the next 2 to 3 years, and we are all excited. But despite the fact that we are anticipating this new 4Runner to come out very soon, it seems like Toyota keeps delaying the actual launch of the 4Runner, which is a bit disappointing for all of us. In fact, according to some leaked documents from a couple of years ago, the new generation 4Runner was supposed to be introduced this year as a 2023 model year, but of course that never happened because another leaked document came about from New York which doesn't show the 4Runner being introduced this year. So initially we thought the new 4Runner is going to be delayed to next calendar year, which is in 2023 calendar year, but I'm hearing more and more rumors that's delayed even more so. In fact, I think the actual launch of the 4Runner will be the early 2024 calendar year, maybe even spring of 2024. I think it will still be labeled as a 2024 model year, but it won't be introduced to the marketplace or arrive at the dealership probably until the spring of 2024. Now hopefully Toyota will at least give us a sneak preview or sneak look at the new 4Runner 3, 4, 5 months before that. So perhaps late 2023 calendar year, at least we will get to see the 4Runner. But it won't arrive at the dealership probably until spring of 2024. Now why is it getting delayed so much when initially it was supposed to be introduced this year? Well, there are a number of reasons for it from my personal opinion. In fact, I think there are 7 reasons why the new 4Runner is getting delayed. Let's get right into it. Welcome back. So why is the 2024 Toyota 4Runner keeps getting delayed in terms of the launch time, in terms of the introduction debut? Well, once again, there may be a number of reasons for it, but I truly think that these 7 reasons or these 7 factors might be contributing to the delay of the 4Runner launch. The first one is the fact that maybe Toyota is making some design changes. Now, so late in the game, they cannot make any major changes such as changing the structural frame or the actual body design. Those are things that are likely locked in already, so they wouldn't be making those changes, but perhaps based on feedback from vehicles like the Ford Bronco or the proven Jeep Wrangler, maybe they're having some second thoughts as to what the 4Runner should look like or what kind of image or perspective it should portray. Now, once again, they can't make any major engineering changes, but they can make lots of smaller changes that wouldn't take too long to engineer. So that includes everything from the front grille, maybe headlights, bezels, or the bumper area, even things like emblems or decals that might go into B or C pillars, as well as some basic color/trim changes. Those are type of changes that can be accommodated in this short time frame of 1 to 2 years delay. These changes might be minor, but you'll be surprised how small changes can dramatically change the look of the vehicle. So that is something that perhaps Toyota is working on, given the notion that more and more car manufacturers are focusing on true off-roading design and off-roading capability, as we witness in the popularity of the Ford Bronco. So that's one of my first reasons I think could be delayed, is that they are having some second thoughts in terms of some simple design changes, some basic color or trim or features or options, and they're making some of those changes to accommodate the ever-changing taste of the buyers. The second reason why I think the 4Runner is getting delayed is a controversial one, because the current 4Runner is built in Tahara factory in Japan, and I've been to that factory many times. It's a beautiful, amazing factory that builds some of the best cars in the world. And I'm very confident that the next generation 4Runner will indeed be built at the Tahara factory in Japan. But in addition, they might also be building it in Mexico. That's some of the rumors we're hearing. No, I don't think they will only build in Mexico and not build in Japan, because the 4Runner has to also meet the demands of some of the Asian markets and some of the other markets that are too far from North America. So it makes more sense if they produce some of the 4Runners in Japan, and in addition, produce the 4Runners in the Mexico factory alongside Toyota Tacoma, to serve the needs of the Canada, US, and Mexico. So those are some potential changes they might make, but because the Mexican factories currently is already tapped full and it's at full capacity, they're going to need a little bit of time to create that capacity because they have to invest into new equipment and new manufacturing lines and so forth. So that could also be contributing to the delay of the 4Runner if they anticipate the 4Runner volume to grow even more than the current one, and therefore they need to produce it both in Japan and Mexico. Now that's not a sure thing. It could only be produced in Japan or could only be produced in Mexico, but my hunch tells me that it will be produced in both countries with the Mexican factory really supporting the North American market and the Japanese factory really taking care of the rest of the world. So that could be adding some delays to the launch of the 4Runner. What about reason number 3? Well, this is a simple one, which is something that we all know about, and that is a supply chain and a chip shortage. If you talk to Toyota executives last year, they were all predicting these problems will go away around this time this year. But as you know, these problems didn't go away, and with conflicts in Europe, things just got worse because things like wire harnesses and some raw materials from Ukraine and Russia could not be brought into North American factories. So those are some unexpected changes that are adding fuel to the fire to do with supply chain shortages. Now Toyota is saying maybe another year, maybe even a year and a half before everything goes back to normal. So clearly, not just the 4Runner, but all the models got delayed as a result of material, chip, and supply shortages. Reason number 4 is very speculative, but because the next generation TACOMA is also coming out sometime late 2023 calendar year, which means that it's coinciding with 4Runner's timing, and I think they don't want to steal the thunder from a TACOMA introduction by introducing the 4Runner at the same time, which is very important because the TACOMA is the high volume profit-making truck for Toyota, and it's more important for Toyota than the 4Runner in terms of North American market. So it makes sense to allow the TACOMA to show up first, so let's say end of 2023 calendar year as a 2024 model year, and then introduce the 4Runner 3 or 4 months later to allow for the marketing group to debut both models without overlapping, and that way both TACOMA and the 4Runner will get proper attention in the marketplace. So that might be the 4th reason why the 4Runner is getting delayed. The 5th reason is a simple economics. The 4Runner, despite being old and outdated, just continues to sell well. In fact, it just grows and grows in terms of sales number to the tune of about 150,000 units this year. And that is a very big number for an outdated model that is going to be replaced very soon. So obviously from financial and economics point of view, why would they rush to replace a model that is selling so well? Because there's a risk or chance that when you replace it, the sales might go down if they don't like the new model. So the 5th reason why it's probably delayed is simply the fact that there's no rush to replace it because the current model is selling so well and likely to continue to grow in terms of sales. The 6th reason why the 4Runner might be delayed could be to do with the powertrain changes. Now we suspect, or I suspect, that the next generation 4Runner will have 2.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine as a base engine, and the same engine with a hybrid mechanism could be offered in flagship models such as TRD Pro. But what if Toyota decided to offer a plug-in hybrid in addition to those two powertrains? So 2.4-liter turbocharged 4, same engine with a hybrid, and maybe the same setup, but now with a plug-in hybrid system. If they were to consider something like this, that will definitely push back the engineering by 1 to 1.5 years, maybe even 2 years. And that could also explain the delay of the new 4Runner introduction. Now, I am hearing some rumors that Toyota might even offer V6 engines in addition to Turbo 4. Now, I really don't think that will happen because there are just too many engines in terms of choice, and also you would think that they will keep the twin-turbo V6 engine for the Lexus GX to differentiate that from the 4Runner. So having the turbocharged V6 engine as an option on the next generation 4Runner is very unlikely just because there are too many engine choices at that point. But who knows, whatever that reason might be, whether it's a plug-in hybrid or introduction of a V6 engine, anytime you change the powertrain or add the powertrain choices, things get delayed in terms of engineering. So that could be the 6th reason why the 4Runner is getting delayed. The seventh reason is a simple and obvious one, and that is that the Toyota Tundra was delayed by about 6 to 7 months in terms of introduction to the marketplace, which means it has a kind of cascading effect because everything else has to be pushed back 6 to 7 months so that nothing overlaps. Now, typically, Toyota does not like to miss any kind of deadline, but of course, the last 2 years have not been normal. So even the big giant Toyota suffered from some delays, pushing not just the Tundra, but pretty well every single other models out 6 to 7 months, maybe even a year. So once the initial TNGA-F platform vehicles got delayed, well, it's a domino effect. It just keeps getting longer and longer. And as we introduce more and more supply chain and other shortages, you can't help but understand that the 4Runner got delayed year to year and a half, possibly even 2 years. Now, there may be other reasons why the 4Runner is getting delayed, but I think these 7 reasons are the primary factors contributing to the delay of the launch of the 2024 Toyota 4Runner. I hope we won't get more delays because many of us just can't wait because we're just loving the 4Runner, but we want to see it change. We want to see it all new with new powertrain and improved dynamics. So we are very excited for the new model, but we just can't keep on waiting, Toyota. So please bring it on time, or even bring it a little bit earlier than the anticipated 2024 model introduction. What do you think of my comments? Do you agree with me, or do you think there are some other factors or reasons why the 4Runner is getting delayed? Please let me know in the comments below. If you're able to give me a thumbs up and make some comments and subscribe, I would truly appreciate that. But until next time, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching my videos about the 2024 Toyota 4Runner.